All right, so basically, what I do is, or what I discovered was that if I identify the time that markets move, it's better for me to understand how I trade. So I know you already know that on Forex markets, the week opens at Sunday 5 p.m. and ends at Friday 5 p.m. I discovered that's 120 hours, and if I take 120 hours of that continuous data and I divide it by 24, that will create 5 Forex market days, and I identify it like that, where I just you put rectangles around them for price action. And then I realized that instead of trying to figure out how markets move like per data set or hour, 5 minute, I just look at the entire week. So I figure out what is the weekly open price, and then I create like a grid type of thing where I space out levels 10 pips apart. So I trade Euro USD, I figure out the weekly candle open price, and I make levels 10 pips above and 10 pips below, subsequently above the weekly open price. Now, since the data is continuous, I highlight the hours. So each hour is represented by a purple range. And then instead of, like I was saying, price is continuous, instead of having a line that represents the daily open price, the last level that price ended off at per day is where I pick up on the next day, because at 5 p.m. markets reset liquidity. It's not necessarily that it starts and stops, right? So each day is separated from 5 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then you have 24 hours within each day. And then since I'm tracking the markets as it moves every 10 pips, it doesn't move 10 pips every hour. So I have to identify how long exactly did it move 10 pips, whether it was bullish or bearish. If it was going bullish and it turned bearish, the first 10 pips in the opposite direction is represented by a blue rectangle. That's it's called like a reset or a retracement. That ends up being a reversal if it continues going in the opposite direction, as you can see, from green to red or from red to green. And then those 10 pips move happen over a series of, it could happen in less than an hour, it could happen in more than an hour, and I identify that. And then, like I was saying, on a daily basis, every day at 5 p.m. the new day starts. I start off where the previous level was, and then I space above and below with bullish levels and bearish levels, bullish being green, bearish being red. And then I highlight every hour, and then I just identify the core. So every time price crosses a level, I identify it with a bullish or bearish strike depending on the direction, and you already know what a reversal strike is. And then you have to understand, I understand that markets move in a range. So if markets travel 10 pips, it might fluctuate or have a margin of error of about 9 to 10, not 9 to less than 9 pips. It's hard for me to explain, but if you understand how markets move, right, it can move bullish and bearish at the same time. So it can move up and down, and it only traveled a distance of X amount of pips over a certain amount of time. So I hope that you can see how it makes sense visually. But at the same time, I'm not doing anything arbitrary like looking for trend lines, support and resistance, candlestick patterns. I'm identifying the weekly open price. I'm identifying the range of an hour. I'm identifying the range of a day. I'm identifying the range of the week. And then I'm identifying when market makes a valid move up or down 10 pips. And that allows me to trade markets proportionately. That allows me to base my risk reward proportionately. Allows me to identify bullish and bearish trends based off mathematical measurements, as well as reversals, continuations, and retracements. And then I could build trades based on that. I trade between the times of 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. where I'm trading aligned with the New York session volatility, where I can get 10, 20, 30, 40 pips within that 4-hour range, as well as I can get my trade accuracy up to, if not 5 pips is my stop loss range, I could get it up as low as 2.5 pips. And then this method of analyzing, I can do it on gold, I can do it on US 30, because if you think of the ranges, or you can think of those red and blue and green rectangles as percentages, I can trade it like that. And all I gotta do is find out like the call it the minimum average. So your USD moves a minimum average of 10 pips, whether it's on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 1 hour, the or and I can't go up to daily, but yeah, you're gonna find a 10 pip move on almost every time frame. And it's also a ratio as to how I'm measuring it on the 5 minute, and I'm identifying the hourly, and I'm identifying the daily and the weekly. It's a ratio to that. And I have to really sit down and explain it, because like I said, this is like a discovery how I was able to mathematically analyze and trade markets. But I know for a fact that if I extract the data points of those 10 pip moves, those strikes, you see those red dots and those blue dots and those green dots, if I extract that data and I feed it to ChatGPT or an AI or a mathematical model, is going to be able to analyze and read those mathematical implications of those moves, and based off of my strategy and my structure of how I'm reading the markets, it's going to figure out what's the best way to trade, how to identify market cycles, and so many other things. I done kind of put it in ChatGPT, but my computer is not that fast. I need a lot more computing power, a lot more of data too, especially like I have to convert the MT5 data into a spreadsheet data that the AI could read, and then all I have to do is explain the framework of the grid that I have or that I'm doing there. It has a mathematical explanation to it, and I could filter it through the AI, and the AI is gonna do a lot of more mathematical calculations than I could understand. But right now, I do actually trade. I passed FTMO, the challenge, not the verification, but I made money temporarily with the strategy and with the methodology, but I know it's a lot more to it than I currently understand, because I can't see like with a bird's eye view. I'm using TradingView, and TradingView only gives you about like a year of data, or even that's if you pay for the regular thing. But at the same time, if I'm trading off of MT5, so I need the MT5 data, filter that data, feed it to AI, have AI learn it with the structure that I have, and then it could just fix my strategy. I have the strategy. I understand that it's just, if I was trade a certain way, that I can get a 5-to-1, 7-to-1, 10-to-1 trades. I can identify it, but I don't know how to consistently trade it like that, because I have to miss out on some days, because the losing streaks are going to come. I have to be more selective with how I trade. I have to figure out what pre-market data before 8 p.m. do I have to analyze to be more selective with my trades, as well as figure out what are my high probability trades, what are low probability trades. I already know if I take out NFP, CPI, and those high volatility news events, I'm going to take out a lot of the losses. I know that if I change the way that I set my entries or my pending stops and pending limits, I could get a lot better. It's just that I need to be able to run my strategy on 100 trades, 200 trades, years of data to figure out, because I'm sure when you're back testing, you change one parameter in that back test, the entire win rate and expectancy of the strategy is altered. So I'm literally trading live and figuring things out, but at the same time, I'm not back testing it over different market conditions, because that's how I was temporarily able to make money to pass the FTMO challenge, or in some cycles I can make money if I over leverage on live accounts, because now I can know for sure I could gamble a live account and go 5x, 10x. It's just that I'm gonna need like some money, recurring income that I could just blow. I just can't go to work and then spend the money for my job. The emotional implications and psychological implications of that. But at the same time, I know that there is a consistently profitable strategy within it. I basically have the framework to it, but like I said, I need to work on it some more. And then as well, you can see I can do this perfectly across all time frames. I mean, not all time frames, but all data, because it all works on the same framework. And then I just need, I have indicators, I have an EA that works, but I just need to make sure it works on all data. That's my FTMO challenge I passed. I'm currently on a verification that's probably blown by now, but yeah, man. So, if you have any questions, just let me know, brother.